think everybody saw what happened with FTX, and they said, okay, we need to make sure there's strong consumer protection. The U.S. risks really being left behind here a little bit. The rest of the world is actually moving and trying to draw crypto companies in. Yeah, I think new legislation is needed. And the reason is that if you look at Americans, 80% of them feel like the current financial system doesn't work for them. The fees are too high, the delays are there, it doesn't serve everybody equally. And it's not surprising, by the way. The current financial system is built on 40-year-old technology. Some of the laws have been around for 100 years before the internet even existed. And so, my belief is that cryptocurrency is actually the most important technology that can help update the financial system. And what's really cool to see is that actually the user base of crypto advocates out there, there's 1 in 5 households in the U.S. are now using crypto. They're actually coming together and starting to get organized and saying, we want to elect candidates across 435 congressional districts that will help create this industry here in America safely. Well, I've been spending more and more time in D.C., and what's great to see is that there is strong bipartisan support for legislation. I think everybody saw what happened with FTX, and they said, okay, we need to make sure there's strong consumer protection. We also recognize that there's innovation potential here, and we don't want this to be like 5G or something like that, the semiconductor industry that got moved offshore too much. We need this to be built here in America with strong consumer protection. So there's at least 3 different groups I'm aware of in D.C., senators that are working on different bills being drafted in various different forms. And, it takes a small miracle anytime something actually becomes law, but I'm excited to see that there's people who are passionate about that, making that happen. And I think the voters in America want to see that. They're going to elect candidates coming up who are going to advocate for that. And Coinbase is a great example of this. I started this company more than 10 years ago now, and I started it in the United States for a reason. I believed that this needed to be built here in a compliant and regulated way. So we've actually been regulated for about 10 years now. We initially sought out money transmission licenses here in the U.S. because that was the closest thing we could find to a license that made sense. We've since gone beyond that. We got one of the first BIT licenses in New York. We're regulated by the CFTC, a federal regulator here. We registered with FinCEN. And by the way, that's just in America. So the U.S. risks really being left behind here a little bit. The rest of the world is actually moving and trying to draw crypto companies in. London and Singapore and Hong Kong and the financial hubs of the world are saying we want crypto to be built here. Europe just passed comprehensive crypto legislation. And so the U.S. really risks falling behind.